Hello, it is currently 11:49, so we have 10 minutes until Booktube-a-thon starts. So I'm about to make some tea. I got my chamomile, aka my favorite tea ever. I came downstairs prepared with my first book in case my tea takes too long. Right at midnight, I'm gonna start. The bookmark I've chosen for this book, I'll create bookmark that I got a book on. I got so many bookmarks because they were just giving them out left and right. I'm ready for the hour sprint. Like, I'm literally gonna hit midnight. I'm gonna sit there and read for an hour, see how far I can get in like an hour straight. Okay, it is now 1 a.m. so it's the finish of the first sprint, and I read for an hour, no distractions. I didn't even look at my phone. I only stopped to look at my watch. So I got to page 99, so I basically read 100 pages in an hour. That's crazy to me. Yeah, I mean, I'm like really intrigued by this book so far. Reading about death makes me kind of anxious, so I'm gonna read another chapter of City of Glass before I go to bed. But I'm reading this book anyways because I know it's good, and my two best friends have read this book and they really liked it. So also fun, copy is personalized to me. I didn't meet Adam Silvera myself, but at BookCon, my two friends went to his signing, so they bought me this book and got it signed. All right, see you when I finish a chapter of City of Glass. Okay, so now it's 1:37 a.m. and my sleep schedule is awful, but I read a chapter of City of Glass. I'm on page 92 and I was on page 72, so that's 20 pages. It was a good chapter, put me in a better mood than They Both Die at the end. Even though I'm liking They Both Die at the end, it's very sad. I'm gonna go to bed and then we'll see what happens in the morning. Hello, so it's the first day of Booktube-a-thon. It's now the morning, it's about 12. I had to take my doggy to the vet this morning because she's sick. So anyways, I last night read 99 pages of They Both Die at the End and a chapter of City of Glass. So the only thing I have to do today is go to the gym. So I'm planning on, I gotta take my Bookstagram photo for the challenge today and read. I'm gonna see if I can knock out maybe like another 100 pages of They Both Die at the End before I go to the gym. Really quick read. It's really sad, but I'm enjoying it so far. So plan. Okay, the UPS truck, yeah. Why isn't he stopping in front of our house? Did he just make a loop and go away? My book outlet package is supposed to be on that UPS truck. He stopped across the... Mr. Brown Pants, let's go over here. What if it's not on the truck? I'm literally setting up at the window to stare at the UPS guy. He's looking confused. Is he coming back? The UPS truck just left without giving me a package.
Mr. Brown Pants, get back here.
Maybe it's on a different truck. The trials and tribulations. Let me make sure I put my address in right. Okay. We'll report back later. It's actually not that hot out today, so I'm gonna read outside, I think. And I'm gonna read like a chapter of City of Glass. First of all, I need to share the funniest thing of my life. So my friend Melissa and I have been reading the Mortal Instruments together. We both have a background in biology. She is trying to go into like the healthcare field, and I'm trying to go into the biotech field. She messages me and it tells me the funniest text message that I've ever gotten in my entire life, and it needs to be on the internet. So she goes, medical analysis of Cassandra Clare's vampires. It's said many times that Simon's heart doesn't beat and that he looks incredibly pale. This would make sense because if your heart doesn't beat, you don't have blood pressure, you're not circulating blood, etc. However, he does still have blood in his vasculature, so by the laws of gravity, it should all just sink to the lowest point. Like why a dead body that's been dead for a long time is bruised looking at the lowest point of gravity. That's where the blood goes. But yet Simon's blood circulates because he's mentioned, I have Jace's blood in my veins, and when he gets a cut on his lip, for instance, it bleeds immediately, which makes no sense at all because his heart isn't beating. Which brings me to my next question, why isn't his heart beating? The heart is just a muscle that responds to nerve impulses from the brain. His brain is still functioning, the rest of his muscles are still functioning, why not his heart? And also, how does Jace's blood go from Simon's stomach to his vasculature? This is so funny. Obviously, we both know it's a novel with that is not medically accurate because it's fantasy, but like it's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know how this demon virus works, but that text message made my day. Okay, also I figured it out. My original tracking number was from UPS, but they transferred it to USPS, so my package should be coming with my regular mail. Got to page, I read another 100 pages that they both died at the end, so I'm on page 201. I'm really getting attached to the characters at this point. It's really sad, but I like the way that we learn more about their backstories, and just, it almost kind of reminds me of Scythe, whereas in Scythe you didn't have death at all and the characters had to contemplate immortality. In this one it's kind of the opposite, where you know that you only have one day left to live, so it's almost like on the days that you don't get the call, you know that you're safe and you can, I guess, take risks, but also at the other time when you get the call, like, you know you're gonna die. So it's very interesting. I really like that their two voices are distinct. Like, you can definitely, like, right away I was reading Mateo's chapters, and then when I switched to Rufus, like his voice was very distinct. And also, like, I'm from New York, so I love, like, when he's like, oh, like, mad this or like mad that, like, that's how people from New York talk, and they don't talk like that in Florida. And while I don't personally talk like that, that vernacular and that language is very familiar to me, so it's almost very comforting because I kind of like miss that. He hasn't said dead ass yet, but like that is a very common thing in New York. I don't know how all these books fit in here, but we're gonna see. Well, I have my little unboxing buddy Tigger here. Just got my book mail. It is this giant box and it weighs 12.74 pounds. It has many books, so let's unbox it. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, my lantern. Oh my god, it is stuffed with books. I don't know if you can see this, but so exciting. Okay, first of all, we have Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shanann McGuire, I believe that's how you say it. So this is going to be one of the books that I read during Booktube-a-thon, so I am glad that this came today. Next up, we have City of Bones, the soft cover editions with the cool spines that I've been collecting, and I already read this one in a different edition. City of Lost Souls, which is number 5. It just has stickers that I can get off pretty easily on it. This one has Alec on the spine and on the cover. I read the Lunar Chronicles in March, April, and I got them from the library and I absolutely love them, so I wanted my own copies. I only have Winter in the paperback, so I got Cinder by Marissa Meyer, Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, and Crest by Marissa Meyer, because they were all on Book Outlet. So now I can find a place for these on my bookshelf, probably later. Whoa, that's so weird. Okay, I have City of Fallen Angels, which is number 4. And it has Isabel on the side, but it has this like weird crack all the way down the side as though someone took like a scissor and cut into the spine. That's weird. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. So Legendary by Stephanie Garber just came out, so everyone's been talking about Caraval, and I saw it on Book Outlet, so I was like, I'm gonna grab it. And what's cool, when you take off this, it has a teardrop on it. That's some cool cover design. I think these days publishers are just stepping up their cover design game, and I'm here for it. The next one I'm so excited for. It's literally like heavy in my hands. But I have Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas, because I'm starting Throne of Glass. So this one was on there and I decided to grab it because very cheap price. Probably won't find it for cheaper anywhere else. And whew, this one's a doozy. It's got really thin Bible pages. Let's see, how many pages is it? 689 pages. It's long and I'm ready to read it. The last one that I got is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas, and it's the Barnes & Noble special edition, which is super cool. It doesn't have the art. I know some of the Target one had fan art, which is sad because I love fan art, but you can't beat the prices on Book Outlet. Okay, so that was just my little mini haul for my Book Outlet order. I'm very happy because I got many books for a great price. So I'm gonna have to fit those on my bookshelf, and now I just have even more books to read. I have so many books to read and I love it. And I have so many more that I still want to buy. Reading is stressful, man. It's stressful. Okay, see you guys later. So it's now 12:07, so officially at the close of day 1. I'm up to page 301, so I read another 100 pages, and they both died at the end, and I finished this before 12. And I'm up to page 118 in City of Glass, and yesterday I was at page 72, so let's do some math. So my first day I read 346 pages. I haven't felt like I've been reading like so much more than usual, because I guess I already read a lot and I'm still on schedule for what I want to do. So I kind of like chose a mix of shorter and longer books. My thoughts on They Both Die at the End are it's really sad because they both die at the end. I really like that Adam Silvera has 2 very distinct voices for each of the characters. Like I can always tell whose perspective I'm reading from, and I think with characters that are similar and going through similar things, that can be hard to, you know, find their separate voices, but he did. And just like the kind of transformation that they're going through throughout this whole day has been like just really great character arcs. And I mean, they're both dealing with different things, and I think like what he's able to do with their stories and how they all interconnect is just really good. It's not something that I would see at the bookstore and normally pick up, because I'm not the type for like morbid things. Like they kind of make me anxious, but I do think that this book is just so good, and everyone loves Adam Silvera. It's sad. Like I'm definitely really sad reading this book, and I think the thing that makes it a little bit more real for me, like when you're in a fantasy book and you're reading about this world and you like hear about this character dying in this like brutal way, like obviously you're sad about it, but, and you're sad if you're emotionally attached to the character and whatever, but it's not necessarily scary because it's in a world removed from our own. But this is like contemporary with a twist where it's just like the normal world with like this one thing and like this concept, and exploring this concept of like, if you knew that you had 24 hours to live, like what would you do? That to me is just like terrifying. It's like, it's scary because it's just a little bit more real and grounded than like other types of fantasy books. So that's why I tend not to go for sad contemporaries really at all. My plans are, now that it is the start of day 2, to finish up They Both Die at the End. I have like 68 pages left, and yesterday I read 99 pages in an hour, which surprised even me. So I should be able to finish this. Okay, I'm back. I just finished this book. I'm really sad now. You know going into this, it's going to hurt you. It's called They Both Die at the End. Like, you know you're gonna be sad, but that doesn't make it hurt any less. Like, I thought because they were gonna die, and I knew that they were gonna die, that maybe I would be able to, like wouldn't feel as connected to them because I just knew that they were goners anyways, but oh no. I was fully invested in their characters, and I wanted them to be alive. But as they say, they both die in the end. Just, wow, that was amazing. Just a beautifully crafted story. Oh, and like there were some points at the end where they were referencing songs, so I put on the songs that they were referencing as I was reading those parts, and it really like heightened the reading experience for me. Like I don't listen to music really ever when I read, but if there's like a song mentioned in a book, I will listen to that song as it's going on in the book, and like it just like heightened the reading experience, and it's just very emotional for me. That book is definitely going to stay with me for a while. To cheer myself up before I go to bed, I'm going to read a chapter of City of Glass, because I would like to just not be sad anymore. I'm trying to get a thumbnail for my video, but I just want to like reflect on the ridiculousness of this situation. So I'm in my backyard, and like this is my like lanai behind me, and I'm literally like just out here on the lawn trying to get a picture with a palm tree. But I think it's worth it. You know, as they say, do it for the gram, do it for the booktube. Hopefully none of the neighbors see me. I'm now on page 39 of Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and this book is already getting me in the feels because they're in high school theater doing Oliver, and I was in Oliver in high school, bringing back the memories, man. I'll put a picture if I can find it of me in costume. I played Bet, and it was just like Nancy's little follow around, if you like know the play or whatever, so I had like a few little lines. Then the next year I was Penny in Hairspray, and I had my moment in the sun. I guess I'll put a picture of that here too. So that just made me a little bit sentimental. This book already like has captivated me. Like, I already love Simon. All the high school references also are like really killing me because I'm a few years out of high school. But then they're like the family's watching The Bachelorette, and like they talk about like AP classes and like all the lunch table. Brings back memories, man. Alright, so that's it for now. See you in the next clip. Okay, hello. I'm gonna do a little unboxing. It's not a book, but it's a bookish item. If I can open it. Ooh. Peyton over on Peyton's Reads was saying that there was this really good deal on tabs on Amazon, and they were getting expensive every time I was going to Target. So I will leave a link in the description below to these. So I also want to show, I got this really cool pencil case at Target the other day that says Mermaid Vibes, and it's got scales on it for all my markers because I do want to get into bullet journal, well, not bullet journaling, but I guess like bullet journaling for reading. I'm gonna go back to reading Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda as well as City of Glass and hang out. See you on the flip side. Okay, hello. So it is now 8:30. Barnes & Noble is open till 10. So I think I'm gonna go and walk around and maybe buy a book because I'm just in that kind of mood. And I just love being amongst the books. Even though I already have all my books for this week picked out, and pretty much after Booktube-a-thon I'm going straight into Throne of Glass. And I tend to read books straight through, like series straight through. So I have spent the last of my time ever since I got home from the stores reading Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I can see why everyone is so obsessed. Like, I knew I would love it, but then when you're in your feels loving it, you're like, wow, I really love this. And just, everything about it is just amazing. Wow, it's so good. I'm on page 207. I haven't read anything in City of Glass, so I think my plan is I'm gonna go to Barnes & Noble, come home. I have 100 pages left in Simon, so that should go pretty quickly. Read City of Glass and also read my poem book, so then that will be 3 books done. I just finished Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and it was the most adorable novel I've ever read in my life. I'm in my feels. I'm in my feels, man. I processed my thoughts on Simon a little bit more, and I just can't stop thinking about how happy this book made me. And like I said earlier, I was an Oliver in high school, so it's just seeing how that played into the story was really, really fun for me. And then I went to Barnes & Noble, and I got, this is gonna be my reading journal. In the meantime, I also read book number 2, and this took me probably 15 minutes to read. Even though it's 100 pages, it's a poem, so the formatting's all weird, but you wanna know what? It counts. And it's For Everyone by Jason Reynolds, and it says, a poem, a nod, and nothing to lose. This is for the courageous and everyone that wants to be. And it was just a very inspirational poem. I haven't read much poetry besides what I read in school, and I think why poetry never clicks with me is that I read really quickly, and I think it's something that needs to be like sat on and thought about. So I would actually be really curious to find a audiobook recording of this. Listen to the poem while looking at the book, because I think poetry also has a lot to do with your inflection and the tone of your voice, and is better when it's read. And I think I would get more out of this if I had listened to it, if that makes sense. So I think I'm going to refrain from giving this a rating, not because I thought it was good or bad, but because I think that I didn't get the full experience of it. Even though I liked the poem and I found it inspirational, I don't think that I even spent enough time with it to justify giving it a rating at this point. Okay, so it's officially midnight. I got to page 169 of City of Glass. So, okay, so with 67 pages of They Both Died at the End that I read after midnight last night, 51 pages of City of Glass, and all 33 pages of Simon Sam's Agenda, plus the 101 pages of For Everyone by Jason Reynolds. My total for today was 521 pages, although 100 of those pages were really sparse, which makes my running total 867 pages. So for day 2, it's pretty good. And with that, I will see you guys in the next. Have some fun, read some books, and continue killing it with Booktube-a-thon.